Hi everybody, welcome to Fast Fun Friday. I think it's number 16. I thought I would come on and do a quick little demo on making your own background stamps using fun foam. And I'm sure this has been seen a million times, but I found these, and I think I got them at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. But they're your regular foam sheets, but they're embossed with a pattern. So there's 6 different pieces here, and they each have a different pattern. The camera's picking that up. There's like a vertical stripe. This one's really subtle. It may not be able to be seen on the camera, but you can see it on the stamp. This has a kind of a wave pattern to it. This is like a little pebble, raised pebble design. This one also is very subtle, but it gives a great grunge effect. And then this one just has the embossed circles. So I played around a little bit with some pieces so I cut the little corners off of each piece like this. So I have each one of those cut out. I think these are on camera. And I just wanted to see what kind of marks each one would make before I decided, do I want to cut a shape or what do I want to do with them? So this is the results. And I like every one of them. Let me turn it this way, be able to bring it in a little closer. So this is the circle one, the small, like more pebbly one, the waves, the vertical stripes. This one was kind of that subtle pattern that was hard to see, and then this is the one that was really hard to see, but it makes really good grungy marks. What I did find was, because the material is so thin, where I pushed harder with my fingers, that's where you see the darker spots, and in some cases that might be what you're going for. By the time I got to this one, I started here and worked my way down. By the time I got to this one, I realized, oh, that's from my fingers, don't push so hard. So on these I went with a much lighter pressure and just kind of rubbed across, and they came out real nice and crisp. So I'm really happy with these. I'm glad that I ran across these sheets with the texture on them. So now that I know what they can do, I thought, okay, so I need to make some stamps and figure out a way to mount them so that I can use them on an acrylic block to make it a lot easier, because this is quite thin. And so when you lay it down on the ink pad, you end up with ink all over your fingers, see? So we want to raise it up a little bit off of something. So this Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue is what I used when I took all of my rubber stamps off the wooden blocks. And let me find one here. So I've had stamps that go way, way back. So anyways, these were all on wooden blocks, and I took them off and put a coat of the Tack It Over and Over on the back, and that allows them to stick to an acrylic block for use, and then they peel right back off again. I just have them on this acetate sheet and stuck in these little crisscross envelopes that I made for my stamps. So I think that will work. Now, so what to mount them on? The other day in my mailbox, for whatever reason, I got 3 at the same time of this kind of heavy plastic material postcard from Spectrum, wanting me to sign up for their internet service or whatever. So I thought immediately, as soon as I pulled them out of the mailbox, well, I don't need Spectrum, but I need these. So they came down here, and I knew I would find a use for them at some point. And so what I did the other day, I was just playing, and I pulled one out, and I just covered it with really thick gesso. If you can see the texture, I haven't put anything else on top of it, and just let it dry. So I have this really cool textured surface. I'll use it for something or play with it or whatever at some point. But I thought, well, I can probably mount these little stamps on a piece of this stuff. It should stand them up enough. And then I thought, well, maybe it won't, because they're both pretty thin. It might, but where is the one? Oh, so here, I don't know if you can see it, the glue's still wet on here. So you need to let it sit and dry. But so I cut this circle with a Martha Stewart punch. Here, I'll show you. With one of these kind of punches. This slot was plenty big enough for me to slide the foam into. I have a couple of other punches, different sizes, and some that have scallops around the edge that are Marvy Yukita stamps, and the space here would not accommodate this foam. So this was the only one that I had that would work. But I punched a circle out of this material that has the straight lines, and then I just took a bottle cap like that and pushed it in, so now I have a circle inside of the circle with the lines running through it. I can't wait to use this in my background. I know this is going to be cool. And then I took foam tape, just 2 or 3 pieces of foam tape across the back. I'm pulling it out here for you. You all know what I'm talking about. But anyways, just this adhesive foam tape, just to raise it up off of the plastic a little bit more. So you can probably see it in there. Okay. So once this is, the glue is dry, that will stick to the acrylic block. I mean, and yet I could probably use this as is, but I think it would just be easier to position. And once the glue is dry, I might even just trim around that circle more so it's not rectangular and I can see to position it better. So then I just freehand cut out this little star shape, and taking a painting stylus with a fine, it's a pretty fine tip. I'm sure, you know, any sharp pokey thing would work, but you can scribe into the foam too. So once you have your basic shape, then you can do things inside like I did with the bottle cap, but you can do things freehand too. So and then this was this was my attempt to put my foam into one of those Marvy punches that it just didn't. I mean, I had to pull it from the underside in. That's as far as I could get it. So I have at least a half a circle that has the scallops on it. So that might be kind of cool. And this has the real fine wavy textury pattern, this pattern on it, which is this one right here, the top one right there on my camera. Yeah, top one right there, this one. I'm trying my camera another way again, so we'll see if that's any better than it's been. So I will probably maybe mount it just like this on a bigger piece so that the whole thing, but leave this hanging off as kind of a handle maybe. I don't know, but I'm going to play with that one. So if you get any of this kind of material, or maybe call Spectrum and say, hey, send me some of those plastic postcards. maybe they'll oblige. But I just see so many possibilities with this. We all love stamps, and well, we'll never stop buying all the cool stamps that the designers are putting out there. This is a really, really inexpensive way to just make, you know, get creative and make some background stamps. You can do them any size you want. The backs of these are a little bit smoother. Like this one is completely smooth. But you can just take a Sharpie and draw whatever you want on the back, and just, it cuts really, really, really easily. So maybe we just want to kind of a wonky heart or whatever. Trace around something that you might want to make a stamped image out of. It cuts super, super, super easy. And it really, I mean, with the 6 pieces, you could make quite a few, you know, like 3 or 4 inch stamps. I'll tell you what size each of those pieces are in a second. Let me finish cutting this out. But yeah, there's enough material there for $1. You know? And now I have just a cool heart that has stripes going across it. I know that it's going to work because I tested them all. And let's see, they are 7 3/4 by 6 inches. So you're going to get a lot of stamping, you know, material out of there. So that's basically it, you guys. You know, it's not rocket science. It's super easy. I don't need to go on and on about it. This acrylic block is a little bit small. I may just use my Dilutions block, which I love. I use it for everything. But yeah, I wish this was, well, I showed you that gets just gets tacky, but it stays tacky. So, and that was the Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. It's a repositionable adhesive. So give it a try. Make some background stamps, and if you do a project, if you make some and do a project and you put it on Facebook or Instagram, tag me so I can see what you did. One last tip before I go. The adhesive foam tape, don't use that, because where that is underneath the fun foam, when you press it onto the ink pad, that foam causes there to be more ink where that tape is. Do you see? Not a good idea. Unless you wanted an X in your circle, then that works. So I'm still waiting for the glue to dry on some of those, but on this one, I peeled the foam off, took the tape off, and just glued the fun foam to the plastic backer with this Ultimate Glue. I use this for everything. It's nice and strong and dries fast. And so that's the image. I got a much better image. I think these spots here is just where the buildup of the ink went into the fun foam from where when I had the foam tape on the back. So if you don't start out with the foam tape, I think you'll be fine. I also took these little sample pieces and just glued them, nothing underneath. And I thought that would be just kind of a fun background with all the different patterns on it like this, only all mushed together. So anyways, yeah, don't use the foam tape. If you had adhesive foam sheets to where you would get an even foam backer, that would work much better and still give you some wiggle room in between. Although I didn't have any trouble stamping this on here. I mean, that's just the ink that's left, but I didn't get any of the ink that it's, and there's ink on that edge right there, see, but it didn't transfer. So even the fun foam is enough height. So have fun with it, just don't use foam tape. If you have subscribed to my channel, I'd really like to thank you for that. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing. I post videos at least twice a week. Every Friday is Fast Fun Friday, so you get a little technique or something like we did today. Just something simple and easy and quick that, you know, you might want to give a try. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and in the meantime, go make some art. Bye.